Hello, everybody. We have live breaking news. You are not going to believe what I have to share with you today. President Trump does not hold back at all after seeing what disgraceful AOC, Hillary Clinton, and greasy haircut that passes for a man, American psycho, Gavin Newsom, did at the all important Munich Security Conference in Germany. He did not hold back. He took questions and gaggled with reporters late last night. I'm going to share with you the entire exchange, plus a whole lot more. I've got a lot to share with you today. So sit back, relax, grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite beverage. Your boy Nez is going to take care of everything. Please make sure you tap that thumbs up. I'm going to share with you what exactly AOC did to make herself look like the abomination that she is, thinking that she knows U.S. history or world history, which she doesn't. I don't know who told her that she passed the book report and she can go over to Munich and represent the United States of America. But whoever that person is should get fired ASAP. Also, Hillary Clinton gets absolutely trolled and schooled by the deputy prime minister of Poland. I can't wait to share that with you. That is phenomenal. And then stick around to the end because I've got a exclusive. Hillary Clinton was asked point blank about Epstein, about Bill, her husband, Bill Clinton, images that have come out in the newly released Epstein files. Her answer, her response, woo, Nelly, I promise you, you don't want to miss this. So stick around to the end. Now, before we get started, I've got some breaking news that I need to cover with you. We also have another healthcare nurse nut job alert that I need your help with. Please tap that thumbs up if you love America. Come on in. Come on in. Also, let me know where you're joining me from. Good to see you, Christy. If you're watching this on the replay, you can see your comments right here on the screen. If you're watching this on the replay, give me a capital TR for Team Replay in the comments and let me know where you're joining me from. Let me know what time it is over there, what city, what state, what country. I love hearing from you guys. It makes me so excited. So I have another healthcare nut job that I need your help with. So you are actually going to be contributing more than just simply getting all the latest and greatest, as I always do, and give you the inside scoop because I keep you in the loop. You actually can contribute and make America safer because this woman who I'm about to share with you, I don't know why these nurses and healthcare workers post these videos online thinking there's no ramifications. I mean, the pure lunacy that goes on in their head, it's unfathomable. I don't know how they do it. So you can help, you can contribute. But before I get started, I have to do this. This entire show is brought to you by our amazing partner, Chapter. You can see the number right there at the bottom of your screen. I have partnered with Chapter. These guys are the most amazing organization to help. They've helped so many of my listeners and viewers to help anyone. It's free with Medicare issues, any Medicare issue you have, even if you're not sure if you have the right doctor or the right program or the right benefits, these guys can help. That's why I partnered with them. They are independent, unbiased, and it's 1 billion% free. They might even call. You might call them and they say, hey, you're on the best program imaginable. You have the best doctor. You have the best Medicare. No problems, all good, and give you that reassurance, give you that clarity. They're not salespeople. I mean, here's a testimonial from one of our viewers. One of our viewers said it was the best Medicare phone call they ever made. There was no broker fees, no nonsense, just pure, good, honest information. Another viewer said, Nez, I can't believe this, but I'm going to save $2,500 a year. I had no idea I was in the wrong program. I had no idea I was doing it all wrong. The guy at Chapter, the representative, helped me, answered every single one of my questions. So I left a link in the pinned comment as well as in the description and show notes. Call Chapter right now, 656-218-0931. Again, it's free, 656-218-0931, and get all your Medicare issues solved. And who knows, you could be saving a serious amount of money. Again, that link is in the description and the show notes and in the pinned comment. Okay. So I have to start with this. Okay. We're going to get to the healthcare nut job and then all of the good stuff. But I don't know if you guys heard about this, but there has been, I don't know how this happens in 2002, but there has been a major, major environmental catastrophe that has happened over in Maryland. The largest raw sewage spill in U.S. history. And because the Democrats are shutting down the government over their obsession of helping illegal criminals, FEMA has to now respond because DEI hire Governor Wes Moore can't do spit. The mayor can't do spit. And FEMA has to do this and help clean up, all while not getting paid, if you can believe that. Over 1 billion gallons, ladies and gentlemen, of raw sewage has flowed into the Potomac River in D.C. thanks to the incompetence of leftist governance in Maryland and D.C. I want to play this quick. Clip right here, which is just unbelievable how this is even happening. I want everybody to check this out right here.
First time we're hearing from top officials at DC Water about the massive sewage spill we've been telling you about for weeks now. And what they're revealing is stunning.
Truly is. They say it could take up to 10 months to fully repair that broken pipe. Now, this comes as the district issues its strongest warning yet to stay out of the Potomac River. News 4's Mark Seagraves explains.
This is a briefing on the Potomac interceptor rupture that we all know has caused this major ecological disaster. I've seen it characterized as one of the major ecological disasters in the eastern part of the United States. It is not only polluting the Potomac, but it is also threatening the Chesapeake Bay.
For the first time, we're hearing from top officials at DC Water about the massive.
So I want to share this. President Trump responding to this, saying Maryland and Virginia and Washington, D.C., who are responsible for the massive sewage spill in the Potomac River must get to work immediately. If they can't do the job, they have to call me and ask politely to get it fixed. The federal government is not at all involved with what has taken place, but we can fix it. But remember, even in that case, with the Democrats shutdown, we'll have to bring in true patriots to do the work because many are not working right now. These Democrat-caused disasters, both river and shutdown, will only get worse. The two governors and the mayor of D.C. must act immediately. This is a radical left-caused environmental hazard. With all of their talk about carbon footprints and everything else, they're allowing hundreds of tons of sewage. I mean, how does this happen in 2026? Somebody tell me. Hundreds of tons of sewage to pour into the mighty Potomac, making it much less mighty. That's true. Act fast. I'm awaiting your call. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. You guys, I've said it once. I've said it 1,000,000 times. DEI is the worst contagion to ever afflict the United States of America. Ebola, the Ronavirus, the C word, cancer. I could say cancer probably. I don't know. I have to be so careful now because they literally, I feel like there's 30 people that work at YouTube that watch all my streams and videos to make sure, oh, did he say something? Let's take his video down. Let's take his video down. They just want to take me down all the time because if you look at the very top of your screen, we're trying to make common sense go viral. They don't like that. I've said it once. I've said it many, many times. There's no virus, nothing as deadly as DEI. DEI is invisible, impalpable. It is the worst contagion to ever afflict modern society. And we're seeing it right now. How does something an environmental disaster of this magnitude. This is something that happens in, like, the 1920s maybe, but in 2026, with all the technology that we have at our disposal, all the resources, all the advanced knowledge that we have on how to avoid these things, how in the world does this happen? Somebody tell me, because it makes absolutely no sense to me. Unreal. I can't wait to get your comments on this. Okay, now we have a nurse, another nurse. I need your help with this. My God, we have another nurse who works at Temple Hill. She has been identified, okay, Temple Health. Her name is Ray Gorman Devlin. Ray Gorman Devlin. She's a registered nurse. Can you guys see this on the screen? She is a registered nurse at Temple Health University Health System. Her name is Ray Gorman Devlin. She works at Temple Health. I'm going to share with you what she just recently said, which is absolutely abominable. And so I'm going to share this with you right now.
I just got another alert on my iWatch, special Apple News alert. I'm very excited. Another death. It's not.
Okay, I can't share that because of the, hold on a second, I apologize, but I can't share that because the music will get a copyright strike. But essentially what she said was, Apple News has done more damage to our country than I can even imagine. But what she said essentially was, and I'm assuming this has to do with the great actor Robert Duvall, who passed yesterday at 95 years old, who was in, some of the biggest classics of all time, Apocalypse Now, Godfather. I really liked his role. By the way, let me know what movie is your favorite movie of Robert Duvall. If you didn't hear, he passed peacefully. 95. These people who are like, we're so saddened to hear this. I'm not saddened to hear this. He's 95 years old. The guy had the best life of all time. I'm not sad. Congratulations, man. You made it. Go say hi to Jesus. Put in a good word for me, will you? God bless. May God bless and keep you. I think my favorite role of Robert Duvall's is I liked him in Days of Thunder. I don't know why. He was fantastic in God. I mean, he's really good in everything. But I think my favorite role of his is, yes, that's right, Rositaro. Like and share. Please like and share. Hi, Bianca. Good to see you. I think I like Days of Thunder just because he was Lonesome Dove is fantastic. Who said that? Sheriff Volner 6220. Lonesome Dove. Yeah. Vicky, good to see you. We got some great mods in the house. Great members. Vicky, Lonesome Dove. Yeah, Lonesome Dove is fantastic. I got to say, I want to see that again. You know what? You just inspired me. I'm probably going to watch that tonight. Yeah, I liked him in Days of Thunder. Let me know what your favorite movie of Robert Duvall is. But okay, let me get back to this. Sorry, I digress. Big shock there. Professor Nez, he likes to weave, just like me, probably, quite frankly, even more than me. Thank you, Mr. President. I love you. Okay, so this nurse, again, let me go back to this. Her name is Ray Gorman Devlin. She is in New Jersey, and she works at Temple Health. She essentially said she doesn't belong within 500 yards of a healthcare facility, but she essentially said she got an alert on her phone, and that's where the Robert Duvall kind of digression came from, saying D-I-E-D, dead, right? And she said, I wish it was him, but it wasn't. Him referring to our president, number 47, President Donald Trump. These are the people working at your healthcare facilities. These are the nurses who could be taking care of you. This is demented. So I need everybody to call Temple Health and say, who in the world, how can you have this individual who's posting online and saying, we hope our president, I was hoping that my president, I could wake up and get this news alert that my president had passed. This is absolutely egregious. So I wanted you guys to help me with that. Okay. So something's been happening here with Democrats. And then we're going to get to the amazing, it's like 15, 20 minutes of President Trump on Air Force One. So stick around for that. Plus, I've got Hillary responding to Epstein questions, which are she's breaking the internet, going viral. So stick around for that. But something's happening over at the Munich Security Conference. We're seeing it also with Obama. And I don't want anybody to, Judy, call the number 656-218-0931. It's free. And I don't want anybody to fall for this. I want you to listen to first this clip of Hillary, and then I'm going to share with you as she gets schooled and roasted in front of the entire conference by this amazing delegate. I'll share that in a second too, but this is really, really important. Here is Hillary Clinton right here talking about immigration and saying, you know what, it was wrong. Watch.
I think we need to call it for what it is.
Secretary
There is
Clinton.
a legitimate reason to have a debate about things like migration. It went too far. It's been disruptive and destabilizing, and it needs to be fixed in a humane way with secure borders that don't torture and kill people.
Okay, so what we're seeing now is essentially we're seeing these unbelievable hypocrites. That's why I call them the hypocrites. And now all of a sudden, because Obama's doing this too, now all of a sudden they're saying, oh, you know what? Yeah, immigration, we kind of made a mistake. We made a blunder. Sorry, guys. You know what? It was a little bit out of control. And yeah, I do believe now I believe in borders. After all this BS, after all the tumult, the chaos, the bedlam, calling our ICE agents Gestapo and Nazi, and calling Trump an authoritarian and a threat to democracy, a constitutional crisis, calling us deplorables, Biden calling us all garbage. Now all of a sudden, and Obama said this too, he even threw Gavin Newsom under the bus. Now it's all of a sudden they're saying, well, wait a minute. No, actually, homelessness is an issue. Actually, no, immigration, it was a little bit out of control. We was a little bit out of control. And you know what? Maybe we made a little bit of a blunder, not taking any accountability, never mentioning Jocelyn Nungare, Patty Marin, Laken Riley, siding with criminals, fighting for illegals, giving them free health care, letting them into our border under Biden, the worst border crisis of all time. Kamala Harris was the fake border czar who never once visited the border, as was testified and corroborated by Border Patrol Union president, as well as many other agents in the field. Now, all of a sudden, why do you think the timing of this is happening right now? Why all of a sudden? Do you think this is by accident? Why is the timing of this self-admission seem to be arising now? Can anybody tell me in the comments why in the world would they be suddenly trying to distance themselves from these catastrophic policies that have caused irreparable harm to American citizens and families everywhere? Why? Can somebody tell me? Can somebody tell me why? I want to see if somebody in the comments. Nothing happens by accident. That's right. Why? Good to see you, Laura. There it is. Vicky nailed it. Thank you, Vicky, who's a member here. It's awesome to have you here. The midterms. That's right. You see, it never was about the victims. It was never about helping anybody. It was never about actually creating, passing policies that Americans want, need, that we voted for. No. Now, all of a sudden, they're changing their tune because the midterms are coming around. Power hungry, deathly afraid of losing their power, their grip, deathly afraid that they might actually be knocked out on their ass into the street, which is where they belong, and forced to have to compete for income, for the ability to feed themselves, their family, in the free enterprise, free market system that you and me have to treacherously fight for every single day. You know why they're deathly afraid of that? Because they don't have any qualifications. They would never make it. They would never make it. So I want to share this because I don't want anybody to fall for this. This is blasphemy. This is garbage. I made an error here. Let me correct that. It was the Czechoslovakian deputy PM who called out Hillary Clinton, and I want to play this because I think this is extremely powerful. And I want you guys to listen to this. And what I want you to really particularly listen to is I want you to listen to the tone in her voice. This is a miserable wretch. And this is in front of the entire world. Can you imagine what she's like behind closed doors? A lot of us know, but listen to this.
These points, well, first, I think we should try to learn to listen to each other and not to label the ideological opponent as the public enemy. We are here on the West, and let's respect ourselves in the differences we have. So I don't really like such a labeling as fascist. I think it's
there are fascists in the world.
Well, maybe there are, but
including in Europe.
I think there are. It ended some 70 or 80 years ago.
No, it hasn't.
Hopefully, this is something I don't really like. That every day, every time I hear labeling someone as fascist or Nazist or whatever, I think we should calm down, because this is dividing the society. We are maybe you are smart people. I'm not as smart as you, but so we should try to learn to talk to each other again, because this is something that went too far. I don't want to talk about the Ukraine, because it's the whole day talks, important talks. I listened to President Zelensky, what he's saying, and he's got the horrible position.
Okay, that's not the clip I wanted to share. So here, this is actually the clip I wanted to share. Here we go. Watch this.
We saw the cancel culture. We saw the woke revolution. I don't agree with the gender revolution, the climate alarmism.
Which gender? Women having their rights?
No, let Peter go on.
I think there are two genders. So, but some of us think that there is more than one, or more than two gender. I think there is male and female, and the rest probably is a social construct. So this is something that went too far.
But does that justify selling out the people of Ukraine who are on the front lines, dying to save their freedom and their two genders? If that's what you're worried about?
Can I please finish my points? I'm sorry that it makes you nervous. I'm really sorry for that.
It makes me nervous. It makes me
No, but seriously.
We saw the cancel.
Oh, she is miserable. Just a miserable wretch. I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine what this person is like behind closed doors. But yeah, so there was that right there, which I wanted to share with you guys. And then, some of you guys had probably already seen this, and now even veteran Democrats are now railing against AOC. And I want to play this amazing video of Bishop Robert Barron calling out AOC for being an absolute brain-dead mook and embarrassing America at the Munich conference. Veteran Democrats are now railing against her, saying this was a Munich disaster. They're calling her word salad the disaster in Deutschland. The New York Times called it a, quote, stumble. Another veteran Democrat said she showed a complete lack of chops. If she runs for president, she's given the opposition tons of ammo to destroy her. So this is extremely brutal for AOC. And I just want to share this clip real fast. I know some of you guys might have seen this, but just for context, she was asked about Taiwan, and listen to this. I mean, I don't even know if Kamala could compete with this, how bad it is.
I think that this is such a, I think that this is a
Painful.
This is, of course, a very longstanding policy of the United States. And I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point.
I mean, that is so scary, embarrassing. So scary, embarrassing. Can you imagine after, and this is after, Marco Rubio probably gave the greatest speech on Western civilization, which if you haven't seen that video, I actually posted it. I actually posted the video last night just in case. And then but it gets worse. Like she's the biggest embarrassment ever. Here she is trying to mock Rubio, saying that no, cowboys are not from Spain. They're from Mexico and African slaves. Like, I don't know how how does it get any worse than this? So I want you to see this right here. This is unbelievable.
Rubio's speech was a pure appeal to Western culture. My favorite part was when he said that American cowboys came from Spain.
I thought they came from Winnetou, but
I believe the Mexicans and descendants of African enslaved peoples would like to have a word on that.
Okay, well, this is how crazy this is. You guys, you know how crazy this is? Her last name is Cortez. That's her last name. Anastasio Ocasio. What the hell's her? I don't even know. I just call her AOC all the time. Cortez is her last name, you guys. Does anybody know? Please, somebody tell me. Somebody tell me who conquered Mexico and who was the #1 conquistador who brought the first ones to Mexico, the first horses to Mexico in 1519 after they had gone extinct a millennia earlier. Can anybody tell me who that was and who conquered Mexico back in the 16th century? Can anybody tell me, please, for the love of God? As a matter of fact, here's what I'm going to do right here. This was an actual post from this was an actual post. Oh my God, it's just so bad. It's so bad. I'm going to prove this. So I want you to see this. This is a great post by Ted Cruz. Let me zoom in on this. So Ted Cruz asked Grok, where did the Mexicans get their horses? Okay, so he reposted this ridiculous clip, and then Grok answered, horses were introduced. This is the artificial intelligence computer responding, okay, supercomputer. Horses were reintroduced to the Americas by Spanish explorers. Hernan Cortez brought the first ones to Mexico in 1519. From there, they spread to indigenous groups. This absolute empty-headed, vacuous, vapid shill, fake representative, brain dead, who this is the same person who called Elon Musk stupid. Can you, believe the audacity? It's like Ghetto Crockett. They have this unwarranted, undeserved cockiness and confidence. Her last name is Cortez, and she doesn't know this? Where do you think? Who do you think conquered Mexico? Who do you think came to California? It was the Spanish. Hello? This should be very, very easy. It's just unbelievable that this individual. So now we're going to get to, so now you see why. And do I really even need to share the, I really don't need to share the clips of, tell me I don't need to share the clips of Gavin Newsom looking like a complete fool, right? Oh my gosh, it's just unbelievable. And then I want to share this because I think that this is just so powerful. It's just dumbfounding to me, absolutely dumbfounding to me. that we have such morons in the Democrat Party. I mean, there was a time where even if I disagreed with you for being a Democrat, at least I had a little bit of like respect that like you earned your position, you earned the office somewhat. I mean, somewhat, you know, I don't know. Definitely more than these mooks today, like Ghetto Crockett, Ayanna Presley, and you know, Geico Caveman. What's his name? Who always wants to impeach President Trump? Hakeem Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, I want to share this, and then we're going to get to Trump's amazing exchange with reporters on Air Force One. But here is Father Barron, who responds to this, and I think this is just so powerful, and I'd like to share this.
Rubio's speech was a pure appeal to Western culture. My favorite part was when he said that American cowboys came from Spain. It's also important to note how thin that foundation is.
Everybody's Bishop Barron. You know, just last week, Marco Rubio gave a talk that I thought was really good in Munich. He was talking about the shared culture of Europe and America. He referenced Gothic cathedrals and Dante and Shakespeare and even the Beatles. His point was, we got to get beyond just our political differences and find our sources in the great culture that unites us. And then he took a further step that was very much in line with Pope Benedict XVI and Christopher Dawson, namely that culture is grounded in cult. At the root of all culture is something like religion. And so he wasn't afraid to reference the Christian faith as a key element in giving rise to the shared culture of Europe and America. So a really good speech, I thought. Well, then just, I think it was yesterday, I saw Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez answering him. And I was very struck by her answer. I thought it was very illuminating. She said, oh, you know, this appeal to culture, it's so thin because culture is ephemeral. It's always changing. And so we shouldn't pay attention to culture. We just pay attention to the material foundations in the class struggle. Well, all of that, everybody, is right out of the Marxist playbook. First of all, that Western culture, as Rubio invoked it, is thin. The culture that gave us all those great figures, that gave us the rule of law, that gave us respect for the rights of the individual, that gave us our democratic political system, that gave us the university system, that's thin. And your argument is, well, because cultures always change. Well, that's a banality. I mean, of course, cultures are alive, they change and evolve. Doesn't mean for a second we can't identify the key elements within a culture that gives it its character. But also this, to characterize culture as thin is a Marxist move. Marx said that culture is simply an epiphenomenal superstructure on top of the economic substructure. And don't be distracted, therefore, by the culture. That's just protecting the economics at bottom. Well, again, listen to her. Let's pay attention to the material conditions and to class struggle. Again, that's the Marxist playbook. What's worrying me, everybody, is the extent to which political leadership on the left in America is becoming, it's unapologetically Marxist. The mayor of New York City, you know, the warmth of collectivism. He's calling for the confiscation of private property, of seizing the means of production. All language right out of the Communist Manifesto. You know, might I encourage followers of, you know, Mayor Mamdani and AOC, talk to some of them. They're still alive, some of them. The people that fled Marxist tyranny in Europe. People laboring under it to this day in Cuba, North Korea, Venezuela, etc. And then this too. It concerns me not just as someone who follows politics, but as a bishop of the Catholic Church. Marx himself said the first critique is a critique of religion, and his political adepts followed him. The first thing that the Marxist tyrannies went after in most cases was religion. I'm getting a little concerned that in some of these leading figures in our own politics, a Marxist philosophy is taking hold. As a religious leader, this is concerning me quite a bit. Take a look, everybody. Attend to the language. In a way, they're telling us who they are and what they're for. And I think that should be very concerning to everybody.
Oh, man. Amen. Amen. Thank you, Father Barron. Wasn't that fantastic? You know, guys, this is something that I used to teach at the university. And it really comes down to, I always taught with the philosophy of I don't want to teach my students what to think. I want to teach them how to think. So I use the lens of Aristotle's principles of rhetoric: ethos, pathos, logos, audience, purpose, language. That way you have a framework to dissect and critically discern language. Language is power. An awareness of language is your greatest sovereignty as a human being. Our great early American philosophers and brilliant artists and writers like Ralph Waldo Emerson, Walt Whitman, Thomas Jefferson, they all knew this. I mean, the very genesis of the American Revolution, our defiance of the tyranny of King George in Great Britain, is spawned from this idea of self-reliance, of we are the masters of our own domain. We demand liberty, we demand justice, and we don't want to be dependent on anything else other than our own understanding, our own spiritual intellect. And so, I really love this. Is what Father Bishop, I'm going to get to the good stuff in just a second. I just have to say this. What Father Bishop is alluding to is literally the thesis of this channel for me. I'm not here to convince anybody. I'm not in the convincing business. I'm here to present exactly how they present themselves, exactly how they convey themselves and communicate themselves, so we can look and read in between the lines and critically assess what exactly they're saying and why. And looking at audience, purpose, message, looking at context, looking at the actual verbiage and nomenclature, you are empowered to make a much more intelligent decision in any facet of your life, personal, professional, in any facet. But more importantly, on the people who are governing you, the people who are passing laws that have impact and consequence on you, your kids, and future generations of the greatest country ever known to man, these United States of America. Because there's people out there like this nurse that I shared with you. They're getting all their information. It's like toxic porridge being plugged into their cranium from Apple News and these far left-leaning news sites that are using this kind of language, like brown and black people are being tyrannized, masked men in unmarked vehicles, going after undocumented, not illegal, not criminals, but immigrants. They call them immigrants. You look at this, and this is not like something supernatural. It's just taking a breath. Aristotle used to call this an awareness of the language choices we make. I don't want to teach my students when I was working at the university what to think. I want to teach them how to think. So you decide. That's the American way. You decide. You are the main principle in the sovereignty of who you are. That is your ultimate power. Is how you make sense out of the world, the people, and things around you, so you can make much more intelligent, sound decisions. I don't know if I've ever shared this before, but one of my biggest pet peeves, I think it's unbelievable. I'm the most easygoing guy 99% of the time. 99.99, well, you wouldn't be able to tell that from some of my videos because I'm very passionate. Quite frankly, Professor Nez, he's a crazy guy. I like him a lot. He's a good-looking guy. But me and Melania, we talk a lot, and he's got a lot going on. I hate missing an exit. When I miss an exit, and I don't know what it is. It just drives me crazy. It's like, oh, I should have turned there. And then I have to drive 3 miles to make a U-turn. I don't know why that drives me crazy. But to use that metaphor in a grander scale, it's those kinds of decisions where you didn't make the right decision at the right time that have massive consequences. And so what Father Barron, I'm going to wrap this up, I promise. What Father Barron is saying, he's not saying, believe me, he's not saying you should look at it the way I look at it, just the way I'm not saying that to anybody in this amazing audience that we have, this awesome community, Nez Nation, this awesome community of warrior patriot poets. I love all of you. It's not about that. It's just, hey, take a look and just look closely, because they will reveal who they truly are. Okay, I'm done. Class dismissed. Where's the bell? Okay, now I want to share this. Oh, this is awesome right here. Okay, I want to share. Hello, everybody. This right here is President Trump going, just torching, absolutely torching AOC, Hillary, Newsom, and everybody on his way to the Munich Security Conference. Everybody, you're going to love this. Enjoy this right here.
So, great financial numbers you saw. Low inflation, very low inflation. Prices are down, way down. Gasoline is less than $2 in many places a gallon, which nobody expected to see, but I did, because we're going by the initial expression of drill, baby, drill, and prices are coming down very strongly. And as goes gasoline and oil and gas, so goes the rest of other products that were high because of Biden. So we inherited a mess, and we've brought our country back very, very powerfully. Crime numbers are way down, despite the fact that they let in 25 million people, many of whom should not have been allowed into our country with their open border policy. But it's the country's doing very well. Any questions?
What are you expecting from these Iran talks in Geneva tomorrow?
So I'll be involved in those talks indirectly, and they'll be very important. We'll see what can happen. It's been typically Iran's a very tough negotiator. They're good negotiators, or bad negotiators. I would say they're bad negotiators, because we could have had a deal instead of sending the B-2s in to knock out their nuclear potential, and we had to send the B-2s. I hope they're going to be more reasonable. They want to make a deal.
Have you been told that a deal is next to impossible?
No, I think they want to make a deal. I don't think they want the consequences of not making a deal. They want to make a deal.
Are you going to sit down with Democrats this week on DHS funding, sir?
I will, but we have to protect our law enforcement. They've done a great job. I just got finished saying that we have the best crime numbers we've had in many years, and on murders, 125 years. And that's despite a lot of people that shouldn't have been let into our country coming into our country, criminals, many, many criminals. But we've taken out tens of thousands of people, brought them back to their countries. Many of the criminals that were brought in, allowed to come in, have been removed. So, we're okay. But to have the best crime numbers, which aren't made by me, these are made by people that do that, many left-leaning. We have the best murder numbers. Horrible thing to say, but we have the best murder numbers since 1900. That's before my father was born. 125 years, think of it. The best crime numbers since 1900, having to do with murder, and really good crime numbers, the best in years.
Are there any demands that Democrats are making that you're okay with?
Well, I don't like some of the things they're asking for. We're going to protect law enforcement. We're going to protect ICE. They're part of the whole system that is working. In Washington, D.C. now is considered a very safe city. When I took over, it was a city that you were losing 2-3 people a week. Over 100 people a year were being murdered in Washington. Now it's considered a very safe city.
I just want to jump in here really quickly. If you think about what President Trump, you guys, I don't think that anybody really can quite understand the scope and magnitude of what he's up against. The guy won the election, free, open, democratic election in 2024 in a mandate. He won every single swing state. He won the popular vote. He ran on mass deportations. He's had 9-10 peace deals across the globe. He's created new partnerships with countries we never even thought of. He's done so much amazing work, taking Maduro out. I still think he should take the mullahs out of Iran. I think that might be the only one little blip, but he's done so much. He brought in the National Guard to Washington, D.C. You have residents who are like, I've never felt this safe in my entire life, walking around, enjoying the Capitol, enjoying the beautiful city. He is doing the job as president, but he has to fight against these mutineers, these treasonous vermin called the Democrats, who are fighting him every turn. The TDS is on a whole new level. Now he has to clean up this 2-ton raw sewage ecological, the greatest environmental catastrophe in 100 years because we have such incompetence with these Democrats. I mean, I'm telling you, you don't vote red, we're dead. And I've said this many, many times. I am not even right or left. Well, I'm definitely not left, but I'm not really right either. If I had to define myself, you know, if somebody forced me, I'm a constitutional centrist. I love America. I'm all about the red, white, and blue. I bleed red, white, and blue. And so if it makes practical sense, I don't care if it's blue, red, green, purple, orange. If a policy, an initiative, a proposition, what have you, makes sense, practical sense, aligns itself with the Constitution, is all about America, I'm for it. Just think about what he's had to go up against.
And we did that. I did it over a fairly short period of time, too.
On DHS, recent news reports have discussed the widespread belief that Kristi Noem and Corey Lewandowski are in a personal relationship. Is that a bad look? Recent news reports have discussed the possibility that Kristi Noem and Corey Lewandowski are in a close personal relationship. Is that a bad look, and do you think she'll be in the job much longer?
I don't know about that. I mean, I haven't heard that.
I don't know about that either.
I'll find out about it, but I have not heard it.
Do you think that will you give your State of the Union speech if we're still in a shutdown next week?
Well, I think I would. Wouldn't bother me. I would give it, yeah.
How are the negotiations going?
With what? Which one? We have a lot of negotiations.
No, with the government shutdown.
This is a Democrat shutdown. This has nothing to do with Republicans. This is a Democrat shutdown. They're upset that the crime numbers are so good. They're very unhappy that the crime numbers are so good. They're very unhappy that there's a movement for getting voter ID. They want voter ID. The population, 98%, want voter ID. They don't want voter ID because they want to cheat in elections. They also want other things. They don't want mail-in ballots. They want to end mail-in ballots, which is corrupt. And one other thing that they're insisting on is proof of citizenship. And the Democrats don't want to give proof of citizenship. They don't want to give voter ID. Think of it. Who wouldn't want proof of citizenship? I ask you, Steve. Who wouldn't want voter ID? And why would you want mail-in ballots if you know it's corrupt? It's a corrupt system. We're the only country in the world that has this system of mail-in ballots. Think of it. The only country in the world that has this system of mail-in ballots, because they cheat. And the fact is they could never get elected if they ever changed. They know it. If you had voter ID, if you had proof of citizenship, they could never win an election. And they know that, and they're fighting to the hilt. And I put this down with men playing in women's sports. I put it down with transgender for everybody. I put it down with their horrible open border policy as being ridiculous. They don't want voter ID. No voter ID. And I put that down in the same category with men playing in women's sports. I'm going to add a fourth category.
That's just common sense.
They don't want voter ID. Go ahead.
So Hillary Clinton said in an interview today that she and her husband are getting pulled into the Epstein matter to divert attention from you, and that your administration has something to hide. What's your response to that?
I have nothing to hide. I've been exonerated. I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. They went in hoping that they'd find it and found just the opposite. I've been totally exonerated. In fact, Jeffrey Epstein was fighting that I don't get elected with some author, a sleazebag, by the way. And I've been totally exonerated. No, they're getting pulled in, and that's their problem. I don't know, they're going to have to see what happens. But I watched her in Munich, and she seriously has Trump derangement syndrome.
Do you think that she should publicly testify?
You know, I've been totally exonerated on Epstein. And it's really interesting because they've been pulled in. Think of it. They've been pulled in. Clinton and many other Democrats have been pulled in, yeah.
The USS Gerald Ford, which is sprinting from the Caribbean to the Middle East, is about to hit its 8-month deployment mark. Usually they're deployed for about 6 months or so. Is there any concern that U.S. carriers are being stretched too thin?
I'll answer the question later.
Mr. President, you're warning Cuba to make a deal. What does that deal look like? What do you want them to do?
Cuba is right now a failed nation. They don't even have jet fuel to get for airplanes to take off. They're clogging up their runway. We're talking to Cuba right now. I have Marco Rubio talking to Cuba right now, and they should absolutely make a deal because it's really a humanitarian threat. And we have a lot of great Cuban Americans, and they're going to be very happy when they're going to be able to go back and say hello to their relatives and do things that they should have been allowed to do for a long time. I'm very interested in the people that are here that were treated so badly by Castro and the Cuban authorities. They have been treated horribly. So we'll see how it all turns out. But Cuba and us, we are talking. In the meantime, there's an embargo. There's no oil. There's no money. There's no anything.
If a deal isn't made, would you consider an operation like the one in Venezuela?
I don't want to answer that. Why would I answer that? If I was, it wouldn't be a very tough operation, as you can figure. But I don't think that'll be necessary.
Mr. President, Marco Rubio received really positive reviews in Munich. Is there
very good reviews?
Is there a scenario in which you would support him at the top of the ticket in 28?
Something I don't have to worry about now. I've got 3 years to go. So it's something I don't have to worry. JD's fantastic and Marco's, they're both fantastic. I think really, and I think Marco did a great job in Munich.
President Xi, in your talk with him recently, it warned about sending more weapons to Taiwan. What was your response to him? Are you going to send more weapons to Taiwan?
I have a response. I'm talking to him about it. We had a good conversation, and we'll make a determination pretty soon.
Tell us about your trip.
We have a very good relationship with President Xi. In fact, I'll be going, I guess, in April.
I'm sorry. Tell us about your trip to Rome, Georgia on Thursday, your trip to Marjorie Taylor Greene's old district.
Well, we have a lot of people that want to take Marjorie Taylor Greene's place. And many, many candidates, and I have to choose one. And they say whoever I endorse is going to win. But we have a lot of good candidates who want to take her place.
So your Board of Peace meets for the first time this week. You said it could be the most consequential international organization ever. That's a high bar. What do you want for this first meeting?
Well, I think it can be. We're going to have all world leaders. They're putting up tremendous amounts of money. And I think it's going to go far beyond Gaza. I think it'll be peace all over the world. And we're working in conjunction with the United Nations. Look,
Quick roll call. Everybody let me know what city, what state, what country you're joining me from. Let me know in the comments. I can't wait to hear from you.
The United Nations is there. They haven't lived up to potential. The United Nations has great potential. They haven't lived up to the potential, but I think they might aid us a little bit. But we have the greatest leaders in the world joining the Board of Peace, and we'll be doing it in conjunction with, in some cases, the United Nations, and see if we can get the United Nations to get on the ball.
You've been a kingmaker in a lot of Republican primaries. A lot of people,
including foreign nations. I was very honored to see that a very wonderful prime minister in Japan won by a landslide. I think she was going to win, but she won by just about the biggest vote ever in Japan. And she attributed my endorsement for that. And that's very good because we have a great relationship with her and Japan.
a lot of Republicans in D.C. are asking you to endorse John Cornyn, but you haven't yet. Is there a chance you would endorse Paxton, and why haven't you endorsed Cornyn?
I just haven't made a decision on that race yet. It's got a ways to go, and I haven't. He's a good man. John is a good. I like all three of them, actually. I like all three. Those are the toughest races. They've all supported me. They're all good, and you're supposed to pick one. So we'll see what happens. But I support all three.
Are you going to get involved in the rift between UAE and Saudi Arabia?
No, I'm not. I would be.
What do you think of that?
I would be. Well, I can settle it very easily. But they have they do indeed have a rift, and we can get it settled very easily. I settle wars. I settle a lot of rifts between countries. You've been noticing, right? That's an easy one to settle.
On Venezuela, Nancy Rodriguez last week said that Nicolas Maduro is still a legitimate president and is innocent. I know you said the relationship is a 10, but I'm curious what's your thoughts on that?
I think we have a great relationship. I think she probably has to say that. I think politically maybe she has to say that. But the relationship with Venezuela, she's doing a very good job. And I fully understand that statement.
You're going to have Ukraine talks tomorrow as well in Geneva with Witkoff and Jared Kushner. What are you expecting there? Is there
we have big talks. It's going to be very easy. I mean, look, so far, Ukraine better come to the table fast. That's all I'm telling you. We are in a position. We want them to come. And by the way, I watched AOC answering questions in Munich. This was not a good look with the United States. I watched GAVIN NEWSOM answering questions in Munich, and this was a bad look for our country. These two people are incompetent. And at least Hillary's competent. She's just Trump deranged. She was so deranged. She is an angry woman, but I watched the other two speaking and answering basic questions. Look, Gavin has destroyed California, and AOC, I never heard her speak very much, and they started answering questions. She had no idea what was happening. She had no idea how to answer, very important questions concerning the world. But she can't answer questions concerning New York City either, because New York City is got some problems.
Now that Gaza's entering phase 2, should Israel lift its ban on foreign journalists being allowed into Gaza?
We'll be lifting a lot of bans pretty soon. I think you're going to see everything opening up. Gaza, look, we have peace in the Middle East. Now, you have some flames here and there, but we essentially have peace in the Middle East. And that happened primarily when we did the B-2 attack on the...
Okay, so there you heard it from the president saying it was a bad look for the United States of America, and I could not agree more. What a terrible representation. After, again, if you missed the Marco Rubio speech, y'all, if you happen to have missed that speech that Marco Rubio gave, maybe one of my mods can leave a link in the comments. I posted the best parts of his speech. His speech was about 30 minutes long. My video last night was 10 minutes. And I covered kind of what I felt was the greatest Western civilization take in a generation. Marco Rubio spoke about Western civilization in such pronounced, emphatic, illustrious terms that it just, to me, it was the greatest speech on who we are as the West in an entire generation. It's phenomenal. It blew me away. And it shook all of Europe. I highly recommend you watch that after this. So, okay. So, it was a terrible look, having these Marxists and having Gavin Newsom, who's from my home state. We are number one in homelessness, number one in exodus. Mark Zuckerberg just recently fled. Tesla fled. Valero, one of the biggest companies in the world in the oil and gas industry. Never heard of before. Chevron, they all left. Everybody's gone. I mean, we're talking trillions of dollars of tax revenue has gone. Never mind all the residents who have left. Never mind all the people who now feel like they don't feel safe walking down the street. These are taxpayers who live in nice areas like Santa Monica, Malibu, the Palisades, for crying out loud. I mean, never mind that disaster. He has the audacity to go to Munich and trash our country. He's absolutely right. I mean, President Trump could have went off, but I thought he was actually being very polite and presidential by saying it was just a really bad look. It was way worse than a bad look. It was downright embarrassing. So it's interesting how he said that Hillary was the only one who was okay, but she's deranged and she's a very angry woman, which is absolutely very true. Okay. Here is the moment that I've been wanting to share with you. And again, before I do this, Hillary Clinton is asked directly about her husband. Are you ready for this? She was asked directly about her husband, Bill Clinton, and all the latest photos, him in the jacuzzi with other women, redacted photos. I mean, this guy went to Epstein Island over 26 times. Wait till you see her response. It's breaking the absolute internet. But before I share that, I just have to one more time talk to you about our amazing partner, sponsor of this show, Chapter, which is an organization that helps people get clarity when it comes to their Medicare. If you're like me, I've got parents in their 80s. Medicare is just like any governmental entity, it's a disaster to try to sift through and make sense. That's why I've partnered with Chapter. This is free Medicare advice. They might even say, hey, you're in the right program. You got the best doctor. They're not salesmen. They're unbiased, independent. Call them right now. I have scores of viewers and listeners who've said they've saved thousands of dollars a year by talking to an intelligent, knowledgeable rep over at Chapter. Call them right now. One viewer said, Nez, thank you for the share. I saved over $1,000 a year by calling Chapter. It's free. Call that number, 656-218-0931, 656-218-0931, or you can go to askchapter.org/Nez. And you can reach out to them that way. Again, that number is 656-218-0931. Start saving now. Gain some sort of, understanding that you've never had before over what's going on with your Medicare. And I'm telling you, you can start saving a ton right now. Call them up. Okay. Here is the clip right here that I want to share with you. This is Hillary being asked directly by the BBC, what exactly do you think about what happened with your hubby in the Epstein files? Check this out.
Do you regret the links that there have been? We have no links. We have a very clear record that we've been willing to talk about, which my husband has said. He took some rides on the airplane for his charitable work. I don't recall ever meeting him.
Did you ever meet Ghislaine Maxwell?
I did on a few occasions, and thousands of people go to the Clinton Global Initiative. So it to me is not something that is really at the heart of what this matter is about. They are accused, and in both cases were convicted of horrific crimes against girls and women. That should be the focus. And we are more than happy to say what we know, which is very limited and totally unrelated to their behavior or their crimes. And we want to do it in public because let's make this transparent.
There are calls for another individual who denies wrongdoing to go before Congress on this matter. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly Prince Andrew. Do you think he should testify?
I think everybody should testify. Look,
including the former prince.
I think everybody should testify who is asked to testify. I just want it to be fair. I want everybody treated the same way. That's not true for my husband and me because other witnesses were asked to testify. They gave written statements under oath. We offered that. They want to pull us. Why did they want to pull us into this?
So she says she has no ties. Then how do you explain this? Can somebody help me out here? This is photographic evidence that you definitely had links to Epstein and company. This is Chelsea Clinton's wedding. You can see her husband there, Bill Clinton, walking Chelsea down the aisle. So she's walking his daughter down the aisle, and look who's looking on. We have no links. We have no links at all to Epstein. And then here's a clip right here that I want to share, which is a direct question to that end.
Do you regret the links that there have been?
We have no links. We have a very clear record that we've been willing to talk about, which my husband has said. He took some rides on the airplane for his charitable work.
Wait a minute. Rides? There's no links? We took some rides on an airplane, she says. There are no links. He just took a couple rides on an airplane. That's all. Holy macadamia nut. Are you out of your mind? Wow. So here, let me just clarify a couple of things. So Bill Clinton, not only did he take a couple of rides, he took 26 trips. And those are only the ones that we've been able to find. So he took 26 trips. His name is mentioned in the actual DOJ files over 2,600 times. There's multiple pictures, multiple pictures, and then here, this is probably one of the most interesting. I want to share this. What was your reaction? And this is where she's kind of getting like a sort of roasted by the internet, because she says, what was your reaction to your husband? All these pictures. Watch this. Oh my God, this is classic. This is absolutely classic. Hold on a second. I want to share this real fast. This is insane. Look at her face.
What was your reaction when you saw some of the material that has been released? I'm thinking, for example, of images of your husband apparently in a hot tub in a swimming pool on Epstein's plane. What was your reaction to that? And
why is she
laughing? You know the context surrounding some of those.
Why are you laughing?
Absolutely. And it wasn't a hot tub on a plane. It was one of the stops they made to look at philanthropic and charitable work that my husband has done, saving literally millions of lives around the world. It turned out that was done long before there was any public awareness and certainly any conviction of any crime by Jeffrey Epstein.
Wrong.
So it was a short period of time that was in pursuit of charitable philanthropic work. A lot of people were traveling at the same time. Many staff members, guests, other supporters of the foundation. If Bill and I had a penny for every person we've taken pictures with, we would be extremely rich today.
Why are you smiling here? Look at when he first asked the question.
What was your reaction when you saw some of the material that has been released? I'm thinking, for example, of images of your husband apparently in a hot tub in a swimming pool on Epstein's plane. What was your reaction to that? And
what does that look right there? Somebody explain that to me. Why is she smirking and smiling? I mean, am I crazy, or is that some kind of demonic response?
Do you know the context surrounding some of those images?
Absolutely. And
why would you do that with your face? I just don't get it.
Material that has been released. I'm thinking, for example, of images of your husband apparently in a hot tub in a swimming pool on Epstein's plane. What was your reaction to that? And
that is a very strange. Okay, I'm not a body language expert. Okay, but I will say this, that I have taught communication courses. I've studied it. My whole entire life revolves around, as I said, Aristotle's principles of rhetoric, which is basically deconstructing language, an awareness of language choices. So I know a lot about, and by the way, most of our communication is nonverbal. So I know a lot about this stuff. That is a very strange, bizarre reaction to that question. Call me crazy, but I just think that here's my question to you, free poll. When she says that we have no links and no ties, which is a lie. I showed you the picture of Ghislaine Maxwell literally at her daughter's wedding. When there's actual substantive proof in the Epstein files, Clinton's mentioned over 2,000 times. He's been to the island over 26 times. That is not global nonprofit charitable work. You don't go to Epstein Island 26 times for charity. Are you kidding me right now? Here's a free poll. Thank you so much, Cool Mom. Thank you for all you do, Professor Nez. Keep spreading the truth. Thank you, Cool Mom 4256 for the $10 super chat. I really appreciate that. Here's my question to you. Is it just me, or does that reek of guilt? Do you believe Hillary, or do you think there's something else a little stinky happening after everything we know about Bill Clinton, after everything with Monica Lewinsky, after literally the scandal heard around the world, the scandal that burned his administration and his presidency and his legacy to the ground? Are we really shocked by this? I mean, I will say this, and I can't say it's an unselfish or altruistic motive, but that brilliant song, Stand By Your Man, I think Hillary probably personifies that. Stand by your man. Was that Tammy Wynette, or am I thinking of, not Tammy Wynette? Why can't I remember? Who wrote Stand By Your Man? Was it Tammy Wynette, or was it the coal miner's daughter? Oh God, sometimes I'm bad with names. I'm always good with audio and sounds. But it looks like some people are saying, Tracy says she's a liar. She's a snake. Danny says she definitely ate the jerky. Stand by your man. Ooh. Somebody says Patsy Cline. Oh, I love Patsy Cline. Love it. A lot of you guys don't know this, but I'm a huge old blues and country kind of cat. I was just listening to, who was it I was listening to? I'm going to check my, give me your favorite music in the comments down below before we get out of here. I was just listening to, I have probably the best playlist on planet Earth. Webb Pierce, more and more, I stop thinking of you. I'm not depressed as before. I keep forgetting you more and more. So I would listen to that a lot. And I mean, I've got a pretty, the Stamps, Sweet, Sweet Spirit. I love gospel. I love the Lord's music. If you love the Lord's music, give me a huge yeah in the comments down below. Marty Robbins. Well, Elvis is the king. I've been traveling over mountains. Elvis is the king. And anybody who argues with me on that, leave right now. Ever since you loved me true, I've been traveling 90, running all the way, baby, trying to get to you. You know, I used to be a performer. This is a long, long time ago. In my early days, in my youth, I used to be a performer. I know that comes as a huge shock. Okay. I love you guys. So that's what we got. If you're just joining us right now, I highly recommend you rewind. Watch this from the beginning. All the links and descriptions, including on how to get free Medicare help, are in the comments and description down below. Again, you can call that number, 656-218-0931. Big shout out to Christy. Big shout out to Robbie Reeder, Laura Tilford, Jim Barron, Cool Bomb. Lisa P. Frampton, congratulations on being a member for 7 months. Aussie Chris 214, member for 7 months. I love you guys so much. If you love America, for the love of God, please tap that thumbs up. It doesn't cost you a thing. Subscribe, it's free. Follow, it's free. Make sure you turn on all notifications so you never miss a thing. I can't wait to hear your comments on this after I go through this again. God bless you as always, and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you.